Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Security guards upset with delays in employment status changes. Body of excavator operating in St. Elizabeth has been found. And later in sports, local coach rates experience over results after Sunshine Girls Fast 5 disappointment. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. Security guards from various firms across the island staged protest in Crossroads, St. Andrew this morning. They say since the court ruling relating to Marksman versus NHD that security guards are employees and not contractors, they have not received any additional benefits. They further told our news team that they have been left out of the discussions.
Nothing has changed. We're going to see some memos and some things selling out to guards about maybe next year, and they're having consultation. And none of us aren't invited in the room to at least talk to whatever the government they're negotiating with. Or with nobody see consultation with us.
So what would you like to see happen?
I would like for, instead of waiting on the government, I would like for the security firm to come forward and do what is right. And we, as this movement, will ensure that we support them and protect them.
They're also calling on Labour and Social Security Minister Carl Samuda to meet with them to address their concerns. Classes have been suspended at the Cross Keys High School in southern Manchester as residents were protesting the poor conditions of several roads in that section of the parish. As a result, many students and teachers were unable to get transportation to school this morning. The residents used trees and large stones to block sections of the main road between Newport and Cross Keys from as early as 5 o'clock this morning. Firefighters were deployed to clear the blocked roads. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has responded to calls for his resignation following the deaths of 13 babies at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. Dr. Tufton has described members of the opposition People's National Party who led the demonstration as desperate. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has seemingly survived mounting calls by the opposition for him to be sacked because of a bacterial outbreak at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. Information Minister Robert Morgan told journalists last week the Prime Minister was satisfied that Dr. Tufton followed due process. The matter may be over, but Dr. Tufton took the opposition to task at a JLP meeting in Hanover Sunday.
I can only wonder whether or not this organization is not going through a sort of attempt at an exorcism or purge of their own ghost of 2015. I want to say to them, I respect the opinions that you offer, and those opinions are important in our democracy, but don't use me to experience your own purging based on your own regrets of some of the decisions that you have taken.
Dr. Tufton further suggested that the PNP is acting out of desperation.
When you do these things, you run a bigger risk in this instance of scaring the Jamaican people from visiting our health institutions through false narratives or exaggerated narratives and those displays that we have witnessed over time.
He's urging Jamaicans not to be distracted by the efforts to cover up its past failings.
The best is yet to come, and that's why the next term must be a surety and allow the PNP, let them go into their own therapy, because they seem to need some of that. The best is yet to come. We, and I'm going to take 3 more minutes, and so stop. This government has unveiled the most ambitious public health plan that this country has seen since independence. And I don't have water in my mouth when I say that.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News. Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says $8 million have been budgeted to digitize the health sector. He says 130 health centers and hospitals will soon be able to access health information via the internet.
It means that if you're down in Negril Health Center and you meet in a bike accident and they carry you to the clinic and the doctor analyze you and take a picture and upload it, they can send it to Noel Homes or to Sablamar or to any other hospital where you need the care. And by the time the ambulance or the helicopter take you there, the doctor's waiting on you with the full brief, so there's no wait to assess and analyze because they are using the technology to give you the support.
Seemingly in election mode, the Jamaica Labour Party says it has no intention of letting go of its current hold on the central Manchester constituency. Newcomer to representational politics, Rhoda Moy Crawford, defeated the PNP's Peter Bunting to claim the seat in the September 3 general election in 2020. Herman Green reports.
An energetic Central Manchester MP on Sunday night at the St. Catherine North Eastern Constituency Conference.
Such man never know say when him busy I walk up and down and mind other business. The people them change the lock and give me the key and me not stop walk with them. Show labor rights.
That man, Senator Peter Bunting. Rhoda Moy Crawford suggested that for the years that Mr. Bunting had been at the helm of the constituency, little to no work had been done. She says when Mr. Bunting was to be focusing on the constituency, he was showing more concern with the presidential race for the PNP. Hence, she says, the constituents used the elections to send a clear message. The PNP is now looking to regain the seat in the next general elections, which is constitutionally due in 2 years. But Ms. Crawford says she has been given a proverbial green ticket for the constituency.
Them say the way how you take care of the place. We not bother with the month-to-month rent. A 32 years lease them give me. 32 years lease.
But the criticism from Ms. Crawford was not only for the former Central Manchester MP, but also for the party.
I see the other party, every time them get up, so propaganda, so cas. But we don't have no time for that. One concern we have, and if we fix up the place where they mash up.
It is a fact that we have the best health minister that this country has ever seen. So all who want twist facts and call for resignation, let them know that we have the best health minister. No other minister of health could have steered this country through the COVID pandemic. No other minister of finance could have steered this economy through the COVID pandemic.
Herman Green, TVJ News.
The body of an excavator operator in St. Elizabeth has been found after almost 2 days of searching. An incident in the quarry Saturday afternoon triggered the search, with community members' worst fears being confirmed Sunday evening. But as we hear in this report, relatives are blaming the municipal corporation for the incident.
It was pandemonium in St. Elizabeth minutes after 8 p.m. Sunday night as the body of 34-year-old Peter Morgan was found in literal pieces. Community members, family and members of the security forces have been searching for Mr. Morgan since Saturday afternoon. It's understood that Mr. Morgan was alone in the quarry operating the excavator located in Exton, St. Elizabeth around 1:30 Saturday afternoon when 2 boulders fell on the excavator he was operating. The father of the deceased, Carl Morgan, is now taking the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation to task over the incident.
When I came and saw the operation, I believe that this should not be in operation.
Why?
Because, I mean, when you look at the condition, the pit is not being properly maintained. This is not the way a pit should be. This should be put in from off the top to the bottom. How can you dig? How can you operate the excavator and with this thing hang over you?
He says based on those circumstances, operations at the facility should have been halted by the corporation.
They're not doing their job. They're not doing their job. Not supposed to be operating. No way. They're not doing their job. Or some compromise in some way or the sort.
When contacted, the chairman of the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation, Derek Sangster, said he was unaware of the incident and would carry out the relevant investigations. He says only then will he make a statement. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
With the aim of stopping violence in the Lauriston and Thompson Pen community, the 4-H Club in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, is bringing the community together through food. More in this report.
A stew festival.
We have stew jackfruit, stew egg, stew June plum, stew pineapple, stew peas. The list goes on.
The 4-H Club's 16th staging, along with a farmers market on Saturday, is an initiative that one of its leaders, Anika Gale, says was aimed at shining some positive light on the community.
When persons hear about Spanish Town, they think about crime and they think about violence. And we wanted to show people that we are much more than that. So we started out by keeping a concert that was called Dash It Pan L&T. And honestly, it never got so well. So we went back to the drawing board and we thought about it and we said, what do Jamaican people really love? And we know that Jamaican people love food, them love good vibes, and them love good music. And we came up with this stew festival idea, and it has been amazing.
In attendance, Member of Parliament for St. Catherine Eastern, Denise Daly. She commended the effort, suggesting that with more activities like these, it will help youths turn away from a life of crime.
Once they are fully occupied, once they are properly influenced, you will not have any kind of negativity because our young people are so brilliant. They are so well aware that if you don't utilize them and put them to use, they can go to waste.
She is calling on the government to create more long-term engagement and intervention for youths.
They need to make sure that it is consistent, that the youths do things that they like to do, and that we are able to empower them to the point whereby they can go and use all of these things as a profession, not just as a little hobby or not for a short term. We are doing too much short-term intervention with youths. Youths need long-term intervention in order that they can be sustainable.
Cody Ann Barrett, TVJ News.
It's now time for the Business Minute. Here's Cody Ann Barrett.
The developer of the residences at Terra Nova has confirmed that up to Friday, November 4, most managers' checks for refunds to apartment depositors in the development had been dispatched. The Hussey family announced last month that it has scrapped plans to develop the apartments in what was supposed to be a mixed-use business development. In a statement on Saturday, the Hussey family said that none of the depositors' funds was used in any phase of the development, but all were held in escrow. The Hussey family also outlined that the project has been funded entirely from their resources. In the meantime, the reconfigured plans for the residences at Terra Nova are being developed even as the company moves to obtain the requisite approvals for the hotel that will now be built. In business internationally, Apple has warned shoppers to expect delays in receiving its products after a strict COVID lockdown forced the world's largest iPhone factory to close. The tech giant said its assembly plant in Zhengzhou, China, is now operating at a significantly reduced capacity. Officials locked down the district that is home to the factory run by Foxconn on November 2 for 7 days. It comes as China continues to target zero COVID, using lockdowns to tackle even minor outbreaks. That's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
And it's now time for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the police have confirmed that a former national youth footballer is among 2 people shot and killed in Barbados over the past 48 hours. The police says 26-year-old Kobe Shepherd was outside his home when he was shot multiple times by a pillion rider on a motorcycle. Shepherd was taken to hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival. On the international scene, the Boston police are reporting that they responded to 3 separate shooting incidents within the same hour on Sunday night. According to the police, at least 1 person is dead and 5 others have been wounded. Meanwhile, one of the survivors is said to have life-threatening injuries. The police are yet to announce any arrest. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
We head to a quick break. When we come back,